Hello, my name is Brandon Beavers, and I'm an assistant band director at Lufkin ISD. In this video, I'm going to speak very briefly on the half-hold technique on both bassoon and oboe. I hope the information in this video helps you and your students. So the three notes that we half-hold are F sharp, G natural, and A flat. All of them that we've talked about, but we're just going to talk about half-holding on G because that's the one that we can practice most easily. So remember, whenever we half hold, it's a rocking motion that kind of happens from this first knuckle. So if my hand's on my instrument, it's going to look like this. Notice it just kind of rolls down. I'm not picking up my finger to move it. I'm not doing anything funny. I'm not sliding it to this half. I'm just rocking it down. You can think about it as rocking and rolling. To ensure that this is happening, we can play low G and then half hold that first tone hole, finger number 1, to try to get that higher G out. If you get a growl or a gurgle at the front of the note, that means your half hole is not big enough. So let me demonstrate that little technique for you, going from low G to high G. Whenever I did that, my finger slid immediately, and then I do have to speed my air up just a little bit to be sure that that note is in tune. Okay, I'll demonstrate it one more time. Just like that. If you don't move fast enough, you might get a growl out like this. It was a little slow. You'll notice my finger never moved super quickly. Once you can do that cleanly, you can try going from F to G. That's a bit more challenging because we're going from just whisper key down to almost all of our fingers down, including that half hole. So we've got to be able to land that half hole right away. Now this one is interesting because this finger goes from being up away from the tone hole to going down. So we've got to be sure that we lock in that half hole immediately. We want it to sound like this. Nice clean G. If we didn't get that half hole correct, it would sound like this. So if you get that sound while you're trying to go from F to G, maybe you're playing the B flat major scale, we do have that half hole technique in there. And you're getting that growl on G, that's what's happening. Your half hole is not quite big enough. So practice that super slowly. Sit in front of your camera on your phone or in front of a mirror. And just watch your finger as you do that. We need to remember when we move our finger to expose that hole on our first key, when we move down to this little plate that we have, we're only going to move from our first knuckle here. Remember, it kind of looks like this. Just a little rocking motion. We don't actually pick up the finger. We don't do anything funny. With the rest of our fingers, we just slide that down, rock that down like that. Okay. A good way to practice this is we can start on low D natural. Whenever we play this note, remember we're going to need a little bit less reed in our mouth than when we actually played that half hold D. So whenever we slide that finger down, we're going to roll in just a tiny bit, and we're going to have to speed our air up to ensure that we stay in tune. So I'm going to demonstrate that for you, and I'm going to sit forward so that you can see my finger whenever it rocks down. Okay, let me do that again from the side so you can see that finger moving. I had to speed that air up a little bit. Another exercise you can do, because sometimes we do have slurs where we go from low D to high D, but more often than not, we start on C, or we have to cross the break. So we might start on C and then have to go to D. So we've got to rock that finger down and get everything to move at the exact same time. So we want it to sound like this. Let me demonstrate that from the side. So everything has to move at the exact same time so that we don't get any bumps. If you don't get that finger rocked down in time, it might sound like this. So if you ever have that growly sound at the beginning of your what's supposed to be half whole D, you're not getting your half whole exposed in time. So you've got to be sure that that finger rocks down immediately, and that takes some practice. So you can always set your metronome. We can set it to 80 beats per minute, and we can practice playing C to D as half notes, and then maybe moving on to quarter notes when we're more comfortable. Let me demonstrate that now. So if you'll notice on that first one, I messed up. I didn't slide my finger down fast enough, but I kept going. So if you make that mistake, if you can process it while you're playing, go, oh, I didn't slide my finger, or I didn't rock my finger fast enough, fix it for the next time, and then continue to build on from there. Okay, well, that's it for this video. If you have any questions, please let me know. You can message me on Google Classroom or send me an email, and I'd be happy to help you. All right, y'all take care. Bye.